I'm not too excited to use. I bought it because I was buying yarn and I was in a trance. Hi there, Michelle here, and welcome back to my channel. And today's video is basically part 2 of local yarn store day. I don't know how long ago, it could have been a week ago, it could have been 2 weeks ago, it could have been 3 weeks ago, that me and my sister went to a bunch of local yarn stores for local yarn day. That was on April the 29th. And we bought a lot of yarn. A lot of yarn. In that video, it was more like a yarn vlog. So like we went to the store, we found some things, we talked about them in the car, and then I came back here and I kind of sat down and kind of explained more about the yarns that I picked out. Well, this is like a part 2 to that. So if you haven't watched that video, definitely check it out. I will link it in the description below. I'm now going to be making stuff with that yarn and letting you know how I feel about the yarn. It's like one hobby to buy yarn, and then it's a completely different hobby to actually make something with the yarn, because I'm really bad at that. There's a lot of yarn to go through. A lot of these yarns I really just want to make bandanas out of. I know, creative, but I find that if you make a small simple project that you can just get done in a day, you can kind of test out the waters for some yarn and then make something out of it, you know? Because like I don't really like making yarn test swatches, which I know you should, my sister does. I just go for it. Just do the project, you know? I don't even test out the yarn. For me, if I make something small, like a little bandana, I can work with the yarn, I can see how the yarn works for me, and then have a project at the end of it. Let me see, where are we gonna go with this? Where are we gonna go with this? These ones here, which I got at Maxim, which wasn't part of yarn store day, which I mentioned in the video, but we were in the area, so we stopped at the store, and I ended up getting these sugar and cream yarns, which I always see people use. I've never used them. I think a lot of people make like dishcloths, face towels, face washcloths, that's it, out of these, but I think I could make a really cute cup cozy. I love cup cozies, such as this one here. This one's that Hobie Honey Bunny Shine yarn that I use. It's really soft. Keeps my hands not frozen when I hold my ice cap. I think this would make a really cute cup cozy. So I think I'm gonna make a cup cozy out of this one here, this pink one, maybe. This one here I did get at the Creative Knitter. Again, I will keep saying this, that was our favorite store out of all the stores we went to during local yarn day, which is located in Ridgeway, Ontario. They have so many nice yarns and their prices are really good, because here's the thing. When me and my sister started going to yarn stores, the ones we went to, how do I put this, were really pricey, but we didn't realize that those were just the high-end yarn stores. I want to make a bandana out of it. And while I was there, I did pick up this yarn too, which is Estelle worsted. It's pretty. I think I'm gonna make a bandana out of this one too. I know, bandanas are just super easy for me to make, so I want to make them. Also, me and my sister ended up getting, it's over there, I don't feel like getting it, but is a yarn winder. It's called something else and I can't remember it. I'm actually going to show you how to use one, or how I use one. I don't know if I'm using it properly, to wind the yarn, because this is the only one that came like this for me. My sister bought a bunch of yarn that's like this. If you're gonna buy yarn that's like this, you probably should invest in one of these doodads. I'll just put a photo here so you know what I'm talking about. We will get to that in this video and I'll show you how to use it, or how I use it. Again, I don't know if I'm doing things right. And then also the Creative Knitter, me and my sister, because we got there early, they were giving out gift bags for people who were purchasing things while supplies last. I ended up getting this in mine. Well, actually it was in my sister's, and then we swapped. This one was lighter colors and hers was darker colors, so if you watch the video you'll understand why we swapped. But I just thought I would show you that this is really pretty, but I don't think I'm gonna make anything out of it in this video. Then I ended up buying these 3 beautiful colors. They're so pretty. And these ones are called Baby Bamboo, and I got them at the Needle Emporium. And these were on sale, I think, for $5.50 each. So I ended up picking up these, and I am going to be making a bandana. I'm actually going to be using this red color. And I know I don't really go for, well, that one thing I did, very vibrant colors. Lately, I have been really into these 2 colors, the bright greens and the lavender purples. Apparently red looks really good on me, so we're gonna make a red bandana. Also, just letting you know, all these bandanas are not gonna be exactly the same. I'm gonna try different stitches, okay? So don't think at the end of the video I'm just gonna have 20,000 bandanas and they're all gonna look alike. So this one here I also did buy at the Maxim. I'm gonna be honest, I don't think I'm gonna make anything out of this one. This one I'm not too excited to use. I bought it because I was buying yarn and I was in a trance. It is really pretty, but I just don't see myself using it currently because it is May, it is spring, summer's coming, and this is a fall project. So I'd rather keep this for the fall when I'm back into those brown muted tones. And then I did end up getting these ones here, and I got these ones at the Galt House of Yarn, and these are called Happy Chenille. And I kind of thought about also making a bandana out of these. I don't know yet. I'm not too sure if I'm going to use these for this video or not. I'm not, like, again, so excited to be using these. I'm excited to use them, but I'm not like, oh my goodness, I need to use these right now. We'll see how the other projects go first, and if I have time, I will use these. I have to say, the yarn that I am most excited to use, and I was so close of just starting to crochet it, I'm like, stop, Michelle, stop. You have to film the intro first before you get into the yarn. So that's why sometimes I film my intros like a month in advance. Anywho, this yarn right here. The Wool in the Gang super chunky yarn. I want to make a cup cozy. I know, it's not groundbreaking or earth-shattering, but I want to make a cup cozy with this because it's going to be so chunky. I really want to use this. This I'm so excited for. This was the most expensive yarn that I got. This was $30. I think it was minus 10% because I got $3 off. This one here I got at Knitter's Boutique in Burlington, and I have to say that I am the most excited, like, I know I said this, but I am so excited to use this yarn because I've always wanted to use a Wool in the Gang yarn and I never did. And now I can. I've only ever seen this online, like on their website, like on the Wool in the Gang website. I always mention this, but I just have a problem with buying things online because sometimes I don't know how they're gonna turn out. I'd rather see something in person and buy it, and when I saw this in person, I bought it. So this is probably gonna be the first project I make because I want to use it. Okay, I think that pretty much sums up my projects. Again, if I decide to make more things, I make more things, but so far these 3 yarns here are going to be made into bandanas, and these yarns here are going to be made into cup cozies. The rest of the yarn, not 100% sure yet if I'm going to have time to make something or even want to make something. I don't want to crochet something just to crochet something. I want to have some use of it, like bandanas and ice cap holders, cup cozies, because I'm always going to use those. I don't know how long it's going to take me to do this because I'm currently working on another project, which that project's probably going to come out before this one does. So I have to get that project done, and then I can get this projects done. And I'm back. It has been pretty much exactly an entire month since we went to local yarn store day, and now I'm here to show you my projects. They're nothing out of this world special. They're just kind of neat because some of the yarn, again, I bought limited quantities. Kept wanting to see quality for some reason of the yarn, just in case I didn't like it. So I can only make smaller things with it. I couldn't go too extreme unless, you know, I combined all the yarn together and made one mega project. I didn't do that. So let's get right into the yarn. We're gonna start off in the order that I got the yarn, I guess. I guess that's the best way to do it. First place we went to was the Creative Knitter, and that is where I bought these yarns here. This was, I mean, you probably already know because it was at the beginning of the video. It's been a month for me since I've established what I found. Lion Brand cotton yarn, I believe. And this was the Estelle yarn that is in a little cake now. Of these 2 yarns, I made 2 bandanas. This is the first bandana. This is all that's left. I just wanted to make something cute, something wearable, something that I could wear now, I guess, something that I could use now that I didn't have to make a big project because I had all this yarn, so I had to make something with each one of the yarns. So I didn't want to go too extreme because I'm also working on other projects, so I want to keep it simple. This is the first bandana, which is so cute. Right here, I will just put a little diagram that I found on Google of how I made this. So it's just a diagram of the stitches. It's pretty easy to follow. If you're interested in what bandana pattern I use, this is the one. This yarn here, it's a little stiff because it is cotton, but it's not stiff enough that it doesn't flow, if that makes sense. It drapes nicely. It was really easy to work with. The feel of it is a little starchy. I think a lot of people maybe make dish towels, washcloths, and stuff like that out of this type of yarn. The cotton yarn that I got from Hobie, that one is really, really soft, where this one is just a little bit more stiff. I give this yarn probably an 8 out of 10. I just wish it was a little bit more softer. And then, of course, made another bandana. I know at the beginning of the video I'm like, I'm gonna make different types of bandanas. Well, there's pretty much only this style. I mean, there's other styles, but this was the easiest to do and it was the quickest to do, and I didn't really want to learn something more complex. I just wanted to get it done. So for this yarn here, it's all twisted up, so I had to untwist it just like that, and then I had to put it on this yarn swift. That's the word, I remembered it now. As it's spinning, just like this, goes into the yarn winder and you spin it up and it turns into a cake. I think this one's a little bit smaller than this green one. What are you gonna do? But I really like this color, and this yarn was actually really nice to use because, again, if you are interested in making bandanas, you have to use really thin yarn. You can't be using chunky yarn, otherwise it's not gonna sit nicely on your head. You know, you want a bandana that when you put it on your head, it drapes nicely. over your head. I'm really surprised of how it turned out. I still haven't sewn in that end yet. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. You know I'm gonna do it eventually. This yarn here, the Estelle yarn, beautiful to work with. I absolutely love it. I still have this much yarn left. I probably could make a few more bandanas if I wanted to. Might even make a matching like cup cozy or something. This yarn is really nice to work with, and I liked how thin it is, but it's not overly thin. Sometimes when you get thin yarn, it's like, this is gonna take me forever to make something. This, not so much. Like this yarn feels like the Impeccable yarn from Michaels, but it is much thinner. And like the drapiness of it is really nice. I do like it. It's not as thick as I thought, and it is really, really soft. I give this probably a 10 out of 10 working wise, how it feels and how it looks. 10 and 10. The next place we ended up going to was the Knitter's Boutique in Burlington. That is where I bought this yarn here. I ended up not unwinding it. I usually just take this off and, you know, pull it apart. There's a lot of yarn in this. A lot of yarn. And I ended up making 2 of these cup cozies. The first one I made it a little bit too big because I'm used to using really small yarn to make my cup cozies. So the first one I made was a little too big. I also lost it. It's probably in my car. I don't know. I'm like, I gotta make another one for this video. Crocheted this up last night. Ended up using a half double stitch. I feel when you are using chunkier yarn, half double or a double stitch, even a triple stitch is better. I think sometimes when I do like a single crochet with the chunkier yarn, it just doesn't look as nice as I would like it to. So I always, you know, just do a bigger stitch. And I feel like when you do a bigger stitch, there's like more room to crochet like per stitch. Cause sometimes if, you know, if you've been crocheting a lot, sometimes when you get the wrong hook or the wrong yarn and you're trying to crochet, it gets real tight and you can't really do anything with. That was kind of like this if I tried to do a single crochet. So I did the half double. Pretty good for a cup cozy. It's really thick. This is the cup cozy. It's still comfortable to hold. It still fits in my cup holder. I'm just putting it here for the sun. I normally do not keep my ice cap on the dashboard. But anyways, this is how it looks. It was fun to use. I've noticed this when I've used other wool type of yarns. When I'm crocheting, kind of like, I don't want to say it gets stuck, but it just has a little bit of resistance when you're crocheting. This one was really, really nice. $30 though? I don't know. I don't know if I would spend $30 on this. I know that there's other brands out there that are less expensive that look exactly the same. So maybe I will find one of those yarns one day and do like a comparison. There's still a lot of yarn. I've made 2 of these exactly the same pretty much, but I don't know if I'd pay $30 again or like right away. Maybe in a year or so I want a different color. Sure. Also, I don't really use wool or really thick yarn a lot. If I end up buying it again, it's gonna have to be something that I have a real specific project in mind and that I need this yarn for. I think I give it like an 8 out of 10. It was fun to work with. I really like the colors. It was nice. Now the place after that was the Needle Emporium, and I bought 3 of these baby bamboo in the intro. I'm like, I'm gonna use the red one. I'm going to make a red bandana. Here's the purple version or the blue version, whatever color it is. Now the reason why I made this is because I actually did make the red one. I made the red one. It looks exactly like this. I lost it. I literally put it down somewhere. It's gone. It's just in a different dimension. I don't know where it is. You know what? I'll probably find it after making this video. Then I'll find it. Here's the blue one. I actually really like this bamboo yarn for bandanas, like compared to say this one here was the acrylic and this one here was the cotton. Put them all together. I really like the bamboo. I liked how it crocheted. It crocheted really, really nicely. I like the shine that it kind of has, and I really like the drapey. Like, look at how much that just drapes. I feel like I'm like, you know, gonna make a pizza. It looks, but look at that drapiness, right? So like this is the bamboo, the cotton. It's still kind of a little bit stiff, but this one just, it drapes super nicely. And out of this is how much I have left. Literally just had enough to make 1 bandana. This was $5. So technically this cost me, this was like a $5 bandana worth of yarn. This yarn, I probably give, let's say an 8 out of a 10. 8 out of 10. If there was more yarn, like double the yarn, I probably would give it a 10 out of 10. Basically, this made this. And I don't know what anyone else would be making out of it because you pretty much get 1 bandana and like some scraps. And then the next place we went to was Galt's House of Yarn. That was in Cambridge, and I ended up buying this yarn here, and I thought I was gonna make a bandana. Ooh, nope. I made this. I just made a cup cozy. This is how much yarn I have left. So from one of these, I was able to make a cup cozy, or you know, a sweatband from the 80s. And I have this much yarn left. So it's not a lot of yarn. Again, I think these are made for like plushies, small little things. I don't think there would have been enough to make a bandana unless I combine like all 4 of these together. I don't think 2 of them would have been enough. I do like how this kind of looks like moss. So maybe in a future project, if I need something mossy, these would be great. Probably should have just bought 1 of each color. I don't know why I was thinking about buying 2 of each color, but I had ideas and I made 1 cup cozy. These are single crochets. I want to say I give this yarn maybe a 7 out of 10. It's really soft. Again, you don't get too much, but I mean, like, you clearly can see that you're not going to get a lot. I just thought it would go a little bit further. I do like it. It feels very mossy, but I don't think I would ever buy it again. Again, unless there's a certain project that I know I'm going to use it for, I'm probably not going to buy this yarn again. Honest opinion. So here is this cup cozy. You know, it fits nicely on there. It's kind of thin. Usually my cup cozies are a little bit thicker, but you know, it makes up for it in softness. And then the last place was Maxim. That was not part of Yarn Day, but I ended up getting this, the sugar and cream yarn. With this yarn, I didn't make a cup cozy like I said. Instead, well, I made these 2 cup cozies, so I'm like, I don't really need to make another one. Maybe later. Ended up just making these little swirls that look like eyeballs. But I actually made these for my car because it is hot out. I will mention this again for all my new viewers that might not have been around the past few summers. My car does not have air conditioning because it doesn't work. It's going to cost me over $1,000 to fix because it's a certain part that is broken and I am not fixing it. I'm fine. I love my windows open anyways. I'm good to go. But because it gets a little hot and I like my ice caps create condensation in the heat. You know, when you pick up an ice cap and you take a drink and then the condensation falls on you. These are actually gonna go in my car in the cup holsters. Cup holders, yeah, they're just gonna go in there so that way my ice cap can go on top and this will just catch all of the drippings. We'll see. I mean, they're made out of cotton, so that's kind of why I chose that. I didn't choose acrylic or wool or anything for that. I feel like cotton is the best. And then I just throw them in the wash and get them washed. So that's what these look like in my car. They actually fit perfectly. They are the perfect size. I thought they were going to be a little bit too big, but they aren't. They fit perfectly. Also, they are 6 rows round. This cotton is a little dense. It's more denser than this. This is softer than this yarn. This again is the Lions 24/7 brand yarn, but this one was a little easier to use than this one. This one, it has a little bit of resistance, I feel, like on your crochet hook. Again, I might have just used the wrong crochet hook because sometimes I don't listen to the directions very well. These were actually really fast to make. They were just circles. That's it, just circles. I don't know if I'd ever buy this yarn again. And it's not that I didn't like it, it's just I don't know what I would make out of it. Also, the only place I ever found it was at the Maxim store. So that's in Paris, Ontario, which is an hour and a half away from me. So I don't think I would spend or travel an hour and a half to get this yarn when I can get the Lions brand 24/7 yarn. Even though this yarn is cheaper than this yarn, but this yarn is closer than this yarn. So it's like the gas. You gotta kind of work into the whole calculations of how much you're spending on yarn. I'm gonna give this like 7, 8 out of 10. It wasn't bad yarn. It was easy to work with, little resistance, but it's cotton yarn. I don't really use cotton yarn as much. I prefer acrylic yarn. What can I say? It's my favorite type of yarn to use. A little recap. I think the funnest yarn to use was probably the Wool and the Gang yarn, even though like I don't think I'm gonna spend the money on another one for a while, but I think it was my favorite yarn to use because I just love this cup cozy. This was my funnest yarn to work with, but my favorite yarn to work with was the Estelle yarn that I bought. Maybe buy like a green color of this and make a checkerboard hat. I really like checkerboards and I really like purple and green. The least favorite yarn was probably this. I don't know. It just kind of blah. It's fine. It's fine. I'm not mad at it. It's fine. I can't wait until next year's local yarn store day because that was just so much fun. Finding new yarns that I've never seen before and going to new shops that I've never been before. So that was fun. If you are new to my channel, you like sewing, thrifting, crafting, and of course crocheting, why not hit the subscribe button? You can also follow me on my Instagram and my TikTok. I think that's it. So y'all have a good day now.